Frustration is mounting and anger is growing with the liberals and passive politicians. Learn the playbook of those who are trying to destroy our country. From the blue-collar professor, he teaches, he leads, he speaks out for truth and justice. Now, the educator of all things conservative, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to it, the Wednesday edition of the program, as we continue to pick up the pieces and sort out which way is up and which way is down after the Orlando massacre. And people are hot. People are very upset in this country. People have, unlike any other terrorist attack that we've seen, any other mass shooting, they're mad. People are extremely mad. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into everything. We're a little late today because I wanted to see what Milo from Breitbart had to say in his press conference today from Orlando. He was out in front of a church, held a press conference, and weighed in. And why is that important to me? That's important to me because Milo is a gay man. And if you listen to the rhetoric coming from the left, this was a hate crime. This was a hate crime on gays, and it was the gun's fault, and the rhetoric continues to spew. And I thought it would be interesting to get a gay person's point of view. Milo has quickly risen to be the top voice among gays, especially in the conservative community, perhaps throughout. And while I don't agree with homosexuality, I don't think it's right, I definitely don't hate people that are gay. That's not how I'm brought up. That's not what my religion says. My religion says I fall short of God's measuring stick just like everybody else. And all sin is created equal. And for me to cast stones at the gay community is unacceptable. Now, I will go toe-to-toe with the gay community on debates about policy and about public procedure, just like I will any other case that I might see wrong for this country. That's the great thing about this country. I have a right to my opinion. But we're going to break down what Milo said. We've got other reactions, and we actually have, as we often do in the United States, we have some good coming out of this. As horrific and as tragic as it is, there is some good. We're going to talk about all of that. If you would like to connect with the show, you can find us on the web at www.thegavinmitchellshow.com. You can email me anytime, gavin@thegavinmitchellshow.com. And we are available on Twitter at The GM Show. And it's Twitter where we start today, because it is Twitter that for, I want to say, the last 6 months, maybe a year, the majority of Twitter is owned by a Saudi. And it's no secret that Saudi Arabia is an Islamic country. They are what they are. And if you've paid attention, my account was attacked by a communist string. It was attacked by an Islamic stream at one point. They weren't able to hack it, but they just assaulted me with messages and direct messages to the point where it wasn't functional. And if you look at the censorship that has gone on in Twitter here lately, it has moved, and it's moved a great deal. And you have to pay attention to this because we're all over Facebook about the censorship of the conservative views and how quick they are to shut things down and delete posts and rearrange the trending wall, and just the feedback and the response from the right on Facebook. Facebook's not the only thing out there. Twitter is out there. And the same thing has happened. They have suspended conservative people's accounts who express their conservative views. They have gone after people for being anti-Islam, and they classify it as hate speech, but the reality is it's just political speech. It just so happens that the Islamic community doesn't support it. But if you look at the inverse and you translate some of this Arabic, there's a lot of hate speech coming from the other side, but they're not suspended. And it was this morning that Milo's account was suspended because of this, because there was anti-Islam rhetoric coming out. Now, everybody threw a fit, and headlines were posted, and the outrage ensued, and so they reinstated his account quickly. But nonetheless, it's that idea of censorship and what gets through and what doesn't that's astonishing to me. I'm surprised that my Twitter account hasn't been suspended up to this point, because I have been very vocal. Why have I been vocal? Because I am, as I dig deeper and deeper into my research with Islam, I am a firm believer that this isn't radical Islam that's out there. That this is Islam held to the letter of the law. Those that are moderate Muslims have deviated from what their book, their path of life, the guidebook that their prophet Muhammad gave them, they have deviated, that they're not following the letter of the law. They're not doing as they're instructed. It's these extremists that we have that are. And all this pushback from the Muslim community and from the left in general. Hillary Clinton came out today and said, we have to find a way to bridge and build this relationship of trust with the Muslim community. And I'm going to ask Hillary Clinton this point blank. Why is it our obligation? Why is it those of us that are not Muslim, why is it our obligation to build that bridge? Why do we have to reach out? It is our country. It is our lives being taken. It is our communities being compromised. It's our culture being compromised. If this is true, if this disdain and this anger that we feel and we have directed towards Islam is wrong, where are the Muslims that are against this standing up and screaming? Where are they at? Why haven't they said, no, you're hijacking our religion. We're not going to stand for it. Because if you listen to the numbers from the left and you pay attention to what they say, this radical faction is such a small proportion of the religion in whole. Now, the religion is huge. It's huge. So a small fraction is still a big number. But if that's the truth, where is the majority of this religion pushing back, fighting back and saying, no, this isn't okay. This isn't right. Why aren't the mosques here in the United States that are peaceful standing up and saying something? There's only one answer. Well, there's two. There's two possibilities. One, they know that these radicals are right according to Islam. According to Muhammad and Allah, they're right. It's them that are wrong, and if they stand up, they'll be chastised. The other is that they're okay with this. They really are. We're going to get into some numbers Milo cited when we get deeper into this, but I want to address those that say, oh, well, it's not all Islam's fault. It's not their fault. It's bigotry if you go after the entire religion, so on and so forth. We've heard the rhetoric. And I just forget what's happened here in the United States. Forget the movements, forget the jihad that's been waged, forget the terrorist attacks and the mass shootings. Just put all of that on hold for a second, and let's just take a snapshot of Europe. Right? Because the big question here that the left has posed is gun control, and we'll address that later. And the refugee situation. Even Paul Ryan has come out and said, no, you know what? A temporary ban on all Muslims, that's a horrible idea. That's not who we are. That's not what we're about. You'll even hear people say that's unconstitutional. When it comes to constitutional bounds and obligations and rights and guarantees, let me be clear on this. The Constitution is an agreement between a central government of the United States and United States citizens. Period. The guarantees and the rights do not extend to people who are not United States citizens. Those that are here legally happen to enjoy those rights, but they're not guaranteed. The Constitution is a deal between us, the citizens, and the government, which is supposed to be for the people, by the people, and of the people. That's how the Constitution works. We can let in as a sovereign nation and still be following the Constitution who we want, when we want, and how we want. There is no obligation of this country to let anybody in ever under any situation. We can choose to, we can choose not to. And in no point in time have we violated any guarantee in the Constitution. Ever. It really is that simple. Now, to take it a step further, back around the World War II era, as it was closing out, and we were moving into this Cold War period, about the late 40s, early 50s, I don't know the exact date, there was an act passed by a Democratic Congress, signed into law by a Democratic president. And this law says by proclamation, which means the president just has to get behind his podium and say, this is how it is. He doesn't have to sign anything into law. He doesn't have to do anything. A president can suspend any migration, any visitation, any student visas, any incoming into this country for any reason of any class of people he determines necessary. You can call it racism. You can call it bigotry. Call it what you want. The law is on the books, and the law was on the books to fight communism. There was this ideology out there that America knew was bad and knew it was toxic, and if it got here and it spread, it was going to be trouble for America, and it was going to compromise these United States at best, cripple it, and have it fall at worst. They knew what they were facing, and so they passed this law, and communists weren't allowed in. It's been enacted a couple times, but most recently by this very president, President Barack Obama. He suspended for 18 months anybody from Iraq from coming into this country. You don't hear anything about that, though, do you? You don't hear the media reporting that Barack Obama suspended any incoming of Iraqi citizens. 18 months he did. When we look over to Europe and we see what's going on, and we look at Germany in public swimming pools have now had to segregate due to sexes. There is a time for men and there is a time for women. Public transit is segregated by the sexes. Men go, women go. Predetermined times, predetermined routes. They are segregated based on their sex. Why? Because these refugees, remember the peaceful refugees that we're supposed to be empathetic about, have come over to Germany, and they cannot be trusted to not rape women. The government has had to segregate sexes in public venues because they don't trust these refugees to not rape women. Why? Because in Islam, women are secondary citizens. They're subordinates. Their testimonies are equivalent to 1/4 of a male's, according to the rape law. If a woman claims she was raped, she has to have 4 male eyewitnesses vouch that that is true for a conviction to happen. Women don't get to go to school. They don't get to go to work without permission from their husbands. They have to obey their husbands at all costs. Now, I can hear some of you liberals out there right now. Well, the Bible says women should obey their men, their husbands. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But the Bible also teaches leadership through servanthood, and a man is supposed to lead the family. And by leading, it means serve. It means be what they need to be. Humble yourself. Show kindness and care. But spiritually, yes, the man is supposed to lead. And that's what it's saying. It's saying, women, get behind your men as they lead spiritually. Be a team. It also talks about when a man and a woman marry, they become one in the flesh. They're no longer two. That's not what Islam teaches. You can't pervert what the Bible teaches and equate it to Islam. In Islam, gays are punished by death. Being gay carries a death sentence in Islam. That's how the Muslims believe it is. That is what we are facing now. That is what is in front of us, and that is what we are facing. And so I hear this talk, oh, it's radical Islam. It's not true. It's Islam in general. Some are just not as outspoken. Some are a little moderate. Some have deviated from the way, but it is what it is. And we are at war. Period. End of sentence. Call me a bigot. Tell me I hate this stuff, but it is not my job to defend their religion. If it is true that ISIS has bastardized and compromised their religion, it is it's their job to fight for their religion. It is their job to stand up and take it back. It is not mine. And while this civil war in Islam goes on, they need to keep it in their territory and not bring it to my front door. Because when you do, and you bring these people, they bring their culture and they bring their ways of life. And at the end of the day, a gay club in Orlando gets shot up. Now, I don't promote homosexuality. I believe it's wrong, but I believe it's no more wrong than half the stuff I do. I'm not here to cast stones at the gays. I'm not going to promote what they do, but I'm not going to cast stones at them either. But at the end of the day, when something like this happens, we are Americans first. We are Americans first. It's that simple. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk about Milo's speech, and we have got a lot to get to. We've got outrage from the ACLU. We've got some good things that are happening. A lot to talk about, not a lot of time. We'll get into it next.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
It's summertime again, ladies. Time to break out those sandals and give your toenails a little TLC. The nail technicians at Friendly Nails in Cleburne, Texas are ready to provide you with professional and friendly service. From manicures to pedicures and a variety of specialized services such as acrylic nails, facials, and waxing. Custom designs and a variety of stones to accent your nails are also available. The technicians at Friendly Nails are all licensed and trained in the latest technology and have experience applying every kind of polish on the market. So stop by and be treated like royalty. Relax in their massage chairs and unwind. Full body massage therapy is also available by appointment only. For all you guys wanting to give your special lady a little treat, $50 gift certificates are available now for $40, and anyone who mentions hearing about Friendly Nails on the Gavin Mitchell Show or KLIF will get $10 off any $50 purchase. Friendly Nails is open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Located at 180 North Ridgeway Drive in Cleburne, Texas. Call them at 817-641-3400. Walk-ins are welcome.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-525-8479 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-525-8479 to take your call now. Call 1-800-525-8479. That's 1-800-525-8479. Again, 1-800-525-8479.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessories store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Visit us for sewing, embroidery, and t-shirt printing services. Airbrush services by our friends at Kingdom Custom Creations are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Let's get back to the program. If you're sick of the garbage that comes out of Washington, D.C., then it's time to arm yourself with knowledge from the Blue Collar Professor. Here's your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So you can find us each and every weekday, 5 p.m. Central on conservativeradionetwork.com. That is our flagship station and some great things happening there. You can also find us on K98 Talk, the 405 Media, Sackheads Radio, and High Plains Radio as well. Special thanks to all those guys for including us in their offering. It means more than you know. We're excited to be a part of the family and great things happening there. Each and every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, we have a live offering. You can find it 4 different places. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can grab it on the radio dial at 570 AM, KLIF. That's at 8 p.m. Central each and every Saturday night. If you're outside the Dallas area, 3 places. KLIF.com has a stream available. ConservativeRadioNetwork.com has a stream available, and the 405 Media as well. So thanks to all those guys for helping us get the word out. That is the one time a week you have the opportunity to pick up the phone, give me a call, and let's have a conversation. I can hear what you have to say. We can talk about it. Maybe you skew my view. I don't know. If you disagree, great. If you agree, great. But it's a great opportunity for us, and that's why we do it, is so the audience can get involved. So pencil that in Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central at all those locations. Now, Milo has come out, and let me be upfront and honest about Milo. Milo is a conservative with a big asterisk next to his name. And if you don't know him, he's a contributor to Breitbart. His niche and the reason he has grown as quickly and as strongly as he has is he is a gay conservative. And it kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but we know that being conservative all tracks back to the Bible and the Constitution. If you believe in those two and you grow your beliefs out of that, chances are you're conservative. That's just how it is. Milo is gay. In my opinion, that directly refutes what's said in the Bible. But you know what? Every time I take a second look at a lady out on the street, or I tell a little white lie, I eat a little too much, whatever the case may be, I'm a sinner too. And so I fall short. And so we all fall short. Pardon me. But Milo, for the most part, has conservative views. And he's outspoken. He's flamboyant. He's a little out there. His language is a little harsh. Flamboyant's the right word. And personality-wise, I don't know if we would mesh real well. I don't like that. I don't like throwing yourself out there, being the center of attention all the time. But there are people that do. And when it comes to this battle against progressives and the lefts and the lies they've told us, having someone that can stand up and say, you know what? I am gay. I'm a member of the gay community, and you're wrong. It is critically important to what we're trying to do here in saving our country. And so Milo is on this college tour, pardon me, where he goes across America and he talks. He says his piece. And it's been met with a lot of controversy, the way a lot of conservative spokespeople have been met. But especially Milo, because he's gay. You know that this Black Lives Matter group and the liberals, they all protest, they try to block, they try to cancel, they send death threats, so on and so forth. Well, Milo was supposed to go to Central Florida later this week, but the police can't guarantee his safety. So he said, fine. So he showed up at a church today, outside a church, and had a little impromptu press conference in Orlando. That's why we're late today, is because I wanted to hear what Milo had to say. The left is spinning this as it's a hate crime. It's a hate crime caused by a homegrown nut job who had access to guns. That's how they're spinning this. They refuse to acknowledge that this is a religious difference between what we stand for in the West and what Islam stands for. They refuse to acknowledge that. And so I wanted to hear what Milo had to say. And man, he knocked it out of the park. He started off quoting stats from the UK because he is British. The thing is, if we want to know where we're going with this progressive attitude, if we want to know where we're going by letting these refugees in, we just have to look at Europe. They let them in. And the Muslims overran their culture, overran their country. It will happen here. Make no mistake about it. And that was the premise of Milo's speech today. Just look at Europe. It will happen. But he quoted some statistics that were impressive, to say the least. not of Muslim refugees, of British Muslims, people who were British nationals, who were born in England, who have grown up in England, who happen to be Muslim. They asked 1,001 Muslims, and 1,001, 100% agreed that it was absolutely unacceptable to be homosexual. That is a staggering number. And I thought to myself, trying to be objective, well, what if you asked 1,001 devout Christians, is it unacceptable to be gay? Well, what is the word unacceptable? Is it against God's will and therefore unacceptable? Absolutely it is. You bet it is. And so would I answer that question, it's unacceptable to be gay? Yeah, but it's not just a yes or no. It's unacceptable to lie. It's unacceptable to have lustful thoughts. It's unacceptable to steal, so on and so forth. And so I thought, man, but then you look at what their book practices, what their religion practices, and their book dictates that if you are gay, the punishment is death. And it's not in the spiritual sense of death. It's not that the wages of sin are death. It's not that because you're a sinner and you haven't repented, you're apart from God, and being apart from God, who is life, you get death. That's not what they're talking about. This isn't a hell versus heaven discussion. We're talking about mortal life. They believe you get your head chopped off. You get hung, you get shot, drowned, whatever. That's a little extreme for me. That's a little extreme because they have this hierarchy of sins. And apparently that's right up there. Okay. 50% believe that women should submit completely to their husbands. They should obey them completely. They're not one in marriage. They're not equals. They're not equally yoked in their knowledge and their relationship with God. None of that. Women are subordinates to men. They're slaves. They're sex slaves. And if you look at the Muslims' actions in Europe, they believe that. Rape is running rampant. They are having to hold seminars in Europe saying, don't rape people. It's not okay here. Milo went on to say, look, you've been deceived by the left. I am telling you as a gay man, you've been deceived. The left comes out and says, we're for you. We're all for you. They find minority groups and they create victims out of them, just like I've said all along. And he screamed, we're not victims, but in their hierarchy of victims, it's Muslims that go to the top right now. And the problem with that, according to Milo, is Muslims want to kill all the others. That's a problem. That's a conflict. And Milo continued in his argument saying, look, the left wants to take your guns away. I'm telling you, if 3 or 4 people would have been armed in that nightclub, that thing turns out a lot differently. And he made the comment that armed gays don't get bashed. The most dangerous places in this country are gun-free zones. And he echoed a lot of what we say on this show. It's not like criminals walk up with their guns and say, oh, gun-free zone, I think I'll go on home. No, they see it as a feeding frenzy. The most dangerous places in the country are gun-free zones. Those are mass murderers' safe spaces, according to Milo. And he talked a lot of sense today in his discussion. It made a lot of sense. Now, again, he's flamboyant. He's obviously homosexual. I don't like a lot of that. But if you listen to the message, he's right about a lot of things there. And there's no question he's going to get some backlash. There's no question that the left is going to try to turn this into, oh, that's nothing but hate speech against Islam. But at some point, the accumulation of little things isn't little. At some point, the facts, when you put them all together, begin to paint a picture. And if you choose to ignore that picture, shame on you. Shame on you for not seeing what is so glaringly in front of you. And the fact of the matter is, this is a religious war. according to them. And if the moderate Muslims are so good and so right and they're so against this, where are they? Why aren't they screaming from the rooftops? Don't tell me that the media muffles their objections, because that's not true. They should be out in waves taking over their religion again, taking back their religion, but they're not. They're sitting passively by, and they're letting these Muslim terrorists go around executing anybody that doesn't submit. Period. That's where we're at in this country. That's how it is. Now, coming up next, I want to talk about the reaction. We have an ACLU attorney's reaction. He flies off the hinges. And what's going on in Congress? The Democrats' actions shouldn't be surprising, but it's more than a little disturbing. We'll get into it next.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you getting squeezed by the economic downturn? Hey, you were doing fine. Then, all of a sudden, you're having a tough time paying your family's credit card bills. Maybe you were downsized or even lost a job, but you still owe 10 grand or more in credit card bills. And you just can't afford the minimum payments anymore. We're here to help. We are the Genesis Debt Partners. We know the secrets to negotiate better terms with your creditors. Make a free 10-minute call right now and learn how we can help you get out of debt. 800-807-9767. If you owe 10 grand or more in credit card debt and you want to learn how you can pay less and get out of debt faster, call right now. 800-807-9767. 800-807-9767. Get out of debt now. 800-807-9767.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscape. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialist in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-824-3301. 800-824-3301. That's 800-824-3301. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Hey, liberals, try rooting for your own country for a change. Our blue-collar educator of all things common sense does. Now, back to the Gavin Mitchell Show.
So I want to support my claim that the left is saying this is a hate crime against the gay community by some nut job out there who had access to guns and he should have never had those access. Many people are saying, well, no, Hillary Clinton came out and said terror. Barack Obama came out and said terror. Don't get fooled. Do not be fooled by what they are saying. Understand what they're doing. Let's take a look at the House. Paul Ryan stopped the House session for a moment of silence for the victims. It is tradition. It is respect. It is right. Several Democrats got up and walked out. Complete disrespect for the moment and for the tribute they were trying to give to the victims. Why did they walk out? Because Paul Ryan refused to move to the front of the line gun control measures. He refused to alter the schedule that was in the House to bring forth immediate gun resolution. That's the House. Let's go to the Senate. As we speak right now, there are Democratic senators in the process of a filibuster. And if you don't know what a filibuster is, when a filibuster is launched, and you have the votes necessary to not stop the filibuster, or the other side doesn't have the votes necessary, that person can talk as long as they want to talk about anything they want to talk about. And it delays everything that has gone on, or is supposed to go on, in the Senate. A lot of times it is used when there's a looming deadline to vote on a bill. They'll filibuster until that deadline comes, and then the bill doesn't get a vote. That's normally what it's used for. Here, it is just a temper tantrum thrown by Democratic senators because their gun control measures can't get to the front of the line. They feel it's immediate, it's necessary, it's got to happen, and they want to alter everything. Again, it's about the guns. Keep in mind what our gay friend Milo said. It's not about the guns. They're missing the point here. What needs to happen is the good guys need guns. The gun-free zones have to go away. The guns don't do it. It's the people that do it. And if you think you're going to stop the crazy lunatics from picking up a gun and pulling the trigger, you're crazy. They are going to get their hands on the guns no matter what you do. That's just how it is. And so the answer is shoot back. These people are cowards. They're not interested in a fight. They're interested in a massacre. That's the House and Senate. It's about the guns. ACLU attorney Chase Strangio, 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 decided he was going to get to Twitter and vent. He says, you know what is gross? Your thoughts and prayers in Islamophobia after you created this anti-queer climate. He is directing this towards Christians. He is effectively blaming Christians for this massacre. His second tweet, I spent my life fighting Christian homophobia while being loved and supported by my Muslim family. He uses a cuss word, blank your take on an entire religion. A third tweet, the Christian right has introduced 200 anti-LGBT bills in the last 6 months and people blaming Islam for this. No. I don't know if this guy believes what he's saying or if this is anger and emotion, what it is, but you've got to be kidding me. The Catholic News Agency reports that ACLU member Inusi Rowe, R-H-O, went after Republican lawmakers for offering prayers for the victims and wounded after the shooting. Rowe said they were promoting the extreme anti-LGBT First Amendment Defense Act. What? The ACLU released this statement. We stand in solidarity with the LGBT community, which appears to have been the target of this attack. Our thoughts are with those who lost loved ones and with the entire suffering Central Florida community. As we come together to heal from this tragedy, we must also continue to stand against any reaction to this horrific event that is rooted in hatred or bigotry in any form. We remain in solidarity with the Muslim community here in Florida and elsewhere. Can you possibly talk out of both sides of your mouth any more than that? It is abundantly clear this was a Muslim attacking gays. You can't support both sides of a fight. And I'm all worked up and coughing now. You can't support both sides. The lines are drawn. Muslims say gays have to die. We do not promote that in this country. There is a rift here. There is a disconnect, and you can't say yay both teams. It doesn't work like that. The Muslim Student Association of North America said that the shooting was an act of homophobia and a hate crime, similar to what Muslim experiences do to Islamophobia. Are you kidding me? This was not a hate crime. What more could this guy have done to make it clear that this was a Muslim-motivated terror attack? He called 911 and pledged his allegiance to ISIS. He's screaming Islamic chants. He goes to mosques. He cheers during the 9/11 attacks. What more evidence do you need? I'm sick of this double talk. I'm sick of the evidence being right in front of the left's face and doing nothing. Planned Parenthood even weighs in. We stand in solidarity against acts of terrorism and hatred towards individuals because who they are or who they love. That's the closest one I've seen yet. A group called, well, I can't say their name. It's a leftist group. Something Media. Do not erase the fact that there are LGBTQ Muslims. No, there's not. If they're real Muslims in a Muslim community, they get whacked for being Muslim. Don't bring that here. It's such nonsense. Anybody drinking this Kool-Aid, I'm telling you right now, you are a fool. Plain and simple. You're delusional. You refuse to see the forest for the trees. You are refusing to look at this objectively and looking at the evidence that is sitting in front of you and putting it together and understanding what is really going on in this world. Meanwhile, on the other side of that pond, there is a big group of people who know exactly what they intend to do, who know exactly what their goals are. And it is to come after us, and they are using technology and different means and ways to get a hold of people here and to influence them, because our culture now is if it feels good, do it. Nobody's wrong, right is relative. And because of that, maybe it's not so bad to embark in this. And then once they get in, they get indoctrinated and they get filled with hate, and they believe that the cost of being gay is getting your head cut off, catching a bullet in the chest. That's what they believe. And if you think anything else, you're sorely mistaken.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
You hear the headlines. You know health insurance is a real mess right now. Premiums have skyrocketed, and in most cases, you're stuck with your plan until open enrollment. But there's a government rule that allows you to qualify for lower health insurance rates if your life has changed. That means if you've changed jobs, if you're having a child, if you're getting married, if you're getting divorced, even if you run a small business or you're self-employed, this law may qualify you to get lower health insurance rates. Call the Health Insurance Hotline today. Learn how this 10-minute call can help you get lower health insurance rates. This is a free service to help consumers learn the laws to help them qualify for lower health insurance rates. So call right now to learn more. 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501.
Hey folks, Gavin Mitchell here. If you're in the market for a new car or truck, Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford has been family owned and operated for nearly 50 years, and my family has done business with Jerry for 25 of those. Jerry's proudly built a reputation of working hard to provide their customers with great service and exceptional value. Jerry Chevrolet has hundreds of new trucks in stock, and they are always marked with the absolute lowest price. Come test drive the Chevy Silverado or the Colorado today and get yourself a $25 prepaid Visa gift card for doing it. When you go online at jerrychevytexas.com, Jerry will offer you a $25 prepaid Visa gift card just for stopping in. No purchase necessary. It's as easy as that. If you have a trade-in, Jerry Chevrolet is always looking for quality used cars, and you can go to jerrychevytexas.com today and find out what your vehicle is worth. Find new roads at Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford and at jerrychevytexas.com. Come out our way and trade your way. Tell them Gavin sent you.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
If you happen to drive by the studios during a commercial break and you see a guy on the roof waving an American flag, that's our blue-collar doctor of common sense. And now here he is, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So earlier today, Matt Locke and I from the Matt Locke Show sat down and recorded the Conservative Cartels. We do every week. It's a 2-hour show once a week where Matt and I just throw the script out the window. We throw the scripts out the window. Any notes we have are gone. And it is off the cuff, back and forth with what we know and where we're at. We agree sometimes, we disagree sometimes, and we address the situations that are in front of us. If you're looking for that, you can find it on the conservativeradionetwork.com. You can also find it on my website and Matt's website, and then it's on Spreaker under Conservative Radio Network, their account as a show. It's a good time. It's a great time. The other piece I want to tell you about is July 4th is coming. The days are getting short, and it is coming. What is special about the July 4th, other than the obvious of the birthday of this great nation? It is the day that the Red Nation Rising movement teams up with Conservative Radio Network, and they become one. Conservative Radio Network has become the flagship and only radio station for the hashtag Red Nation Rising movement. There are 50 states that have a Red Nation Rising Twitter account. There are countries that have it. The hashtag Red Nation Rising itself has over 1 billion impressions a month, and conservativeradionetwork.com is becoming the voice of Red Nation Rising. We are ecstatic at the Gavin Mitchell Show to be a part of that. It is coming. It is coming soon. It is a big deal. And to say you're in at the ground floor of that is going to be great things. So keep your eyes and ears open. It is coming, and it's coming fast, and it's going to mean good things. Now, with this tragedy, it is not all bad. Oftentimes, heroes emerge from situations like that, just good people. And we know about the first responders. We know about the surgeons and the medical staff, so on and so forth. They're heroes. There's no two ways about it. We know how great they are. But oftentimes, there are people that we don't pay a lot of attention to, and I want to bring to light some of those people. Do you remember the backlash that Chick-fil-A got for, one, being closed on Sunday just in general, for saying, hey, we're a Christian company? I know people that refuse to eat at Chick-fil-A because they stand up and say, we're a Christian company. That's who we are. That's what we're about. They took a stance on the gay marriage thing, said, no, that's not what we're for. They took a stance on the religious liberty and the whole transgender bathroom thing. They didn't actively do anything. They just said, look, that's not what we're about. So much so that the great mayor of New York, when they opened their first restaurant in New York, said, boycott them. They're bigots. They're bad. Boycott them. Well, here we are in Orlando in a situation where a Muslim man decided he was going to kill 49 gays. This is a situation that Chick-fil-A, as a Christian company, if they wanted to be political about it, would just stay away from. But they didn't. They saw that all these people wanted to give blood and help. It was a community effort, and the community was hurting, and they were part of the community. So they stepped in, and they opened their door on Sunday as people were lined up in the heat for hours to donate blood. They flipped on their deep fryers. They called in staff, and they made sandwiches and sweet tea, and they took it to those people in line to donate blood, and they fed them for free. That's what they did. That's what Chick-fil-A is about, and good for them. Hats off to them. They didn't ask for credit. They didn't ask to be mentioned. None of that. They just did it because that's what being part of the community is about. There is an Ace Hardware store right across from this gay club. And they saw what was going on. They saw all the law enforcement and first responders out there in the heat, sweating, trying to process and investigate and do their job. They saw all the members of the media there. And oftentimes people will criticize the media too much, too often, in the way they're there too long. It's a criticism of the media. It truly is. But Ace Hardware grabs a couple grills and decides they're going to go buy some hot dogs and at least feed these guys, feed the first responders, feed the people investigating the scene, feed the media, all of that, because they felt the message needed to get out there, that the violence was unacceptable. Well, they didn't have to go buy the hot dogs. The local grocery stores all donated what they could. And they fed everybody involved because getting the message out was important to them. They didn't have to do that. They went out of their way to do it. And this is just two accounts. There are so many others out there that mean well and try to do well and go out of their way to help people. But oftentimes it's overshadowed by the evil and the destruction and the political debate. And I'm guilty of this too. We're a political talk show. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk news. We're going to talk reactions of those officials that we trust to lead us. But a lot of times some silent heroes, some background heroes rise, and it's important to point them out, to let people know, hey, these are good people. They're going out of their way to help these people, and it's worth a mention. I know here in Dallas there are different groups that have done several things to get together and try to raise money to help these people. It's sad that it takes something like this to bring those people out of the woodworks or to get them recognition. Because they're good people. They would have done it either way. But it's worth shining a little light on. Folks, that's going to do it for today. In the words of the great Ray Wiley Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days. I hope you have a great day. For Ron Phillips, I am Gavin Mitchell. This has been a Pinnacle Broadcast Holdings production. We'll see you tomorrow.